busy and, we need to be reminded and encouraged and all that kind of thing. So that's really what I'm after. It's not just to come and exercise one time. It's because I found out in one of my continuing eds that if you feel like you got to get to the bathroom, go up on your toes. And it works. It works if you contract your gastrocs and you go up. And then there's an acupuncture ingredient or something that helps the bladder contract. Yes. Oh, yes. So see, it's things like that. Yeah. And I think it'll be on Google. Because that's what it is the balance and strength and all of those things that our bodies need as we get older to stay independent. And take care of ourselves and know how that, those of us that work in hospitals, so that's what I'm really after. It's going to take a little while to get to there, but we had a good session. Here comes people. Hello. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure I didn't make don't be surprised. Old people in the back. You see old people, they workshop in July. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure. It was about 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I wanted to try to say that. But we have a Jewish man that wants to have it. Oh, yeah. And then I think Mario Land is doing it on a regular basis. So Pasha said that had to be.
You made it late too?
Established.
You said you made it late too?
So when she gets
I made an abundance. There's an abundance of your place. This is so boring.
Looking, I can get. Oh, I can take the top one. No.
So the one thing I would.
And I put one of these in the top like that.
Martin, and you can do it on a Saturday. Yeah, once a month. Yeah, I would like to do it once a month.
Oh, I know.
We need to have something that will make me so I exercise. Because we all work together and did exercises and so I continue. But I'd like to have Ken Rudd, because our kids come right. And he said that he was like, so he is. But I read it. And so he needs. Oh, yeah. And he's sorry.
Yeah, go ahead and listen to music because you got about technically 2 minutes and you start, but I'll let you go a little bit longer since we still. So I can pick a couple songs, get us started.
The young woman that comes to Tai Chi, and they got to Tai Chi world, very attractive girls.
Every day the world is new, and the tale I tell is true. I'm telling a new story. It's the story of my life. I tell it any way I like. I'm telling a new story. I can make up anything, all that brings my soul to sing. Well, adventure, beauty, love, and glory. Everything that pleases me, and it suits me to a T. I'm telling a new story. I grew up in Hollywood, where the ending's always good. I'm telling a new story, where the hero saves the world, and he always gets the girl. I'm telling a new story, like a sovereign on the throne, looking over all I own. Everything in heaven's inventory, living in fantasy. That's the new reality. I'm telling a new story. It's a game I love to play, and I play it every day. I'm telling a new story. I'm telling a new story. I'm telling a new story. Oh, sure. Let your dreams make you come true. Let your fantasies be your destiny. Let your dreams make you come true. Keep your love alive. Let it come alive. Where is the dream set aside? The one you tried to hide, get locked up inside. Tonight, forget that dream. It had to wait. Came again to say that it's not too late. Today, let your dreams make you come true. Let your fantasy be your destiny. Let your dreams make you come true. Keep your love alive. Let it come alive. What would you do if you knew you could never lose? What then would you choose to do? How would it be to be free? Live your deepest dream and know that you'd succeed. Guaranteed. Let your dreams make you come true. Let your fantasy be your destiny. Let your dreams make you come true. Keep your love alive. Let it come alive. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Well, good morning. Thank you so much for the music. Love people come on, everybody's talking and hugging, which is sweet. But we'll start a little bit later, but thank you for the songs and stuff, fill in. And we usually start with a reading to kind of bring us into the focus. I think we're a little Zoom today.
Palmer, am I on?
No.
Good morning and aloha. My name is Leah. Today's page had a new thought, well, not technically new thought, what do they call it? Science of Mind magazine is called Choosing Peace. Every day brings a choice to practice stress or to practice peace. Joan Boryanko. 1. Alone in the universe with the infinite constitutes a complete majority. Knowing this in your own thought, work perfect peace and calm. Ernest Holmes. There is a fable that describes a king who offered a prize for the person who could paint the best picture of peace. There were 2 finalists. One drew a picture of peaceful mountains, fluffy clouds floating by, and a calm lake. The other drew a picture of an angry sky, lightning and thunder, and a rushing waterfall. Behind the waterfall was a tiny bush growing from a crack in the rock, and there sat a mother bird in her nest in perfect calm. The king chose the second picture because, as the anonymous author described, peace doesn't mean to be in a place where there is no noise, trouble, or hard work. It means to be in the midst of new things and still be calm in your heart. T. Nahan wrote about how people responded to the stresses of crowded refuge boats when they encountered storms or pirates. He said if everyone panicked, the boat would capsize. If only one person remained calm and centered in God, that was enough to save everyone. What a wonderful example of how powerful our faith can be. Not only do we affect our own life, but we affect the lives of everyone around us. When we choose peace, we experience God, and no matter what appearances seem to be, deep within we are calm and serene because we know all is well, and life is unfolding just as it should. Reverend Ron Fox. I have an affirmation here, and it's a little wordy, so I'm going to break it up. I'll read it all the way through, and then I'll break it up for us to repeat it. Today, I choose peace. No matter what occurs on the outside, I move within and experience the power and ease of spirit. In my heart, I know all is well. So together, today I choose peace.
Today
I choose peace. No matter what occurs on the outside,
No
matter what occurs on the outside, I move within and experience the peace and ease. I move within and experience the peace and ease of spirit. In my heart, I know all is well. In my heart, I know all is well. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's do that. Let's take a moment to go inside and find our own peace, our connection with spirit. It's nice to have your feet flat on the ground. Take a moment to focus on your breath. Just come into the presence of the divine within. Nice. It's one of the things I love about coming to church. You know, we can meditate on our own, but when we gather, there's a fuller peacefulness that happens in meditation. So I really appreciate your presence. Another song? Yeah.
Spirit leads, Spirit guides, Spirit sees and Spirit decides what I need. Spirit provides. I look out the window while Spirit drives. Spirit said, let's take a trip along with Cousin Pele on the mighty ship. The trip begins with your birth on the mighty ship called Mother Earth. You see, Spirit leads, Spirit guides, Spirit sees and Spirit decides what I need. Spirit provides. I look out the window while Spirit drives. Spirit says it's lots of fun, taking several dozen trips around the sun. You'll have a lot of thrills and chills, and then you'll have the opportunity to do it again. You see, Spirit leads, Spirit guides, Spirit sees and Spirit decides what I need. The Spirit provides. I look out the window while Spirit drives. Spirit is much smarter than me, like Einstein times infinity. So I just go with the flow, 'cause I don't know, the Spirit knows. You see, Spirit leads, Spirit guides, Spirit sees and Spirit decides what I need. The Spirit provides. I look out the window while Spirit drives. The Spirit leads and Spirit guides, Spirit sees and Spirit decides what I need. Spirit provides. I look out the window while Spirit drives. I look out the window while Spirit drives.
Thank you. So welcome everyone to New Thought. I like that we think about spirit. You mentioned Pele. We invite all spirit. We encourage you to bring your own God, kind of your own belief systems to the church. So New Thought's been around for a while. I think we're 30 years, 40, 50, we're kind of in that range. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. In fact, we're getting ready to celebrate our birthday. Yeah, it was during COVID, so we didn't get to celebrate, but we're having a birthday celebration coming up. But we've been gathering for a while in different forms, different places, but always to celebrate spirit and community and so forth. So welcome people here, welcome people online and so forth. And I'll address the elephant in the room. We now have a new screen. Yeah, we have a new partner in our space, which is the Kona Beth Shalom. And they'll be doing services here on Saturdays, and then we'll be here on Sundays, kind of thing. So we get to use the space for two groups. And JinAn wanted to kind of display for his talk. So it's like, oh, what a great opportunity. So it'll be kind of fun. We'll have a video or a PowerPoint for the talk also. So just to kind of address that. I think I recognize everybody here. I don't recognize, but have you been here before? Yeah, that's what I figured.
20 years.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's like, oh, we come and go, and it's kind of how it is for most of us. We come, we have an amazing experience, we come back when we can, kind of thing. I guess that's one more song then. I'll pass it back to you for another song, yeah.
Sometimes when life has got the best of me, it seems I'm never where I'm meant to be. when the end of my rainbow is a river run dry, and the top of that mountain seems impossibly high. I say I'm one step closer to my destiny. Every day I'm one step closer to where I'm meant to be. Don't you know I'm one step closer and I'll never stop. I'm one step closer to the mountain top. And I believe it with all my power. I repeat it every waking hour. In my moments of weakness, it carries me through. Till the mountaintop comes into view. Say I'm one step closer to my destiny. Every day I'm one step closer to where I'm meant to be. Don't you know I'm one step closer and I'll never stop. I'm one step closer to the mountaintop. One fine day I'm gonna stand on that mountain, looking at the valley below. I remember when I told myself, you know it doesn't seem so long ago. Oh no, I said I'm one step closer to my destiny. I'm one step closer to where I'm meant to be. Every day I'm one step closer and I'll never stop. I'm one step closer to the mountain top. One step closer to the mountain top.
So for those watching and new to us, when we clap, we do the sign language clapping. So we just wiggle our fingers. So you don't necessarily hear it clapping, but the crowd is going wild. Yeah, right. So another thing we like to do, two parts we're going to do now. Both of them have to do with sharing. And the first is miracles and ordinaries. And we'll give everybody opportunity if you want to come up to the mic to share a miracle or an ordinary that happened for you. But I'd like to go first. The other night I was out at Willie's and up walked Benjamin with a big smile on his face. Now, I don't know if everybody knows, but Benjamin was in the hospital maybe a month ago, and it was like we didn't know how it was going to go. A lot of people prayed for Benjamin, and that was the first thing he said is like, "Oh, I just thank so many people prayed for me," because he didn't even know if he would make it or how it would be. And there I was dancing with Benjamin again to the Grateful Dead. Yeah, and it was a miracle of sorts for Benjamin, and just the power of prayer. Yeah, so just a reminder that you all are creating miracles with the prayers. Yeah, when we pray for others, there's something so profound. When we pray for ourselves, like help, right? Harry taught me that one. But you know that's a powerful prayer in its own emotional way. But when we pray for other people, there's something so loving and divine about that. So anybody want to share any other miracles that happened in your life? Yeah. Leah, since you're right there nodding your head, you want to jump up? Leah's always close to the mic. Ooh, yeah, sure. I'll share a miracle. Yeah.
Well, this is, whoops, I'm on. Okay, this is a two-part series. Since you mentioned the power of prayer, I don't know if anybody noticed that Pasha's not here this morning, and Peace Eagle's not here this morning. Peace Eagle was in the ER this morning, and so I don't know the details, but I know he's okay. But I think it would be lovely if we took a few minutes right now and closed our eyes and sent a prayers to Peace Eagle, because when there are more than one of us, when we're gathered, just like Kamana already said, That's the power, right? So let's all just go inside for a few minutes and send Peace Eagle healing energy and love, whatever form that looks like and feels like to you.
And good to send Pasha a little light. Also, she's fighting a cold or something. So just surrounding the two of them in loving light, such appreciation, love for who they are, all they do for us.
Thank you, everyone. And of course, we can continue this later on our own dime when we're doing wherever we are. I'm going to share a miracle. It's truly a miracle that I witnessed this week. I got a call from a very dear friend who had left the country thinking it was a 3-week vacation. She couldn't get back into the United States, but she lives here and had a condo, $3,000 a month. And anyway, she called myself and another dear friend on Oahu, and we jumped to her aid, if you will. So he was there the first day, trying to pack boxes. I was there for 3 days. Jenny was there for half of a day. And between the three of us, what I thought was impossible to pack everything that was in that 2-bedroom condominium into a 5 by 10 by 8 foot tall storage locker. I looked at it as we were going, making trips back and forth, using my van, took the seats out, had room for stuff. Anyway, as he's packing it and I'm looking at space, then we'd go back to the condo and I'd look at what was still going to go in there. I thought, oh no, I'm sorry, we have to go to a 10 by 10. This is never going to fit. I consider myself having good spatial relationships. I can look at stuff and that'll fit there, that'll fit there. Okay. Well, I was dead wrong. The last day, he packed that thing to the ceiling, and there were, things that were whatever size, filling holes everywhere. And he took a white, it's a silk orchid, but a white silk orchid, and placed it right by the front door when you open it up so that when she comes back, she'll be back in 6 months, she can open that door and have some peace and love in her face first before she faces the mountain of what I thought was impossible. So to me, that was another lesson of myself doubting what he already knew. And I was in and out of doubting and believing it was possible. So it was a real good lesson for me to open my thinking and my heart and go, I believe you, let's do this together. And we were doing it together, but another level of, I believe.
Hello, hi, good morning. I'm Jamie. Just to cap with what Leah said, that was definitely for me an ordinary. I had worked on Tuesday already. I was taking a lunch break, and then I was going to do some more work. And this is a mutual friend of ours, and Leah's like, I really, really need your support. Can you come help us out? And I said, yes. I'm so grateful for the flexibility in what I do. And then speaking of what I do, I work trade, and my situation, our situation changed. Actually, Leah used to live next door to me, and then there was another renter, and they both had to leave because the new buyer was gonna remodel the house. So I got message that, we're gonna keep you on through the summer, but come fall, you gotta go. So I put out here at New Thought, the intention, ask divine, universe, prayers. I put a prayer in the Honu box. And I followed up on every lead that Pasha and Rob, including Banyan Tree Sanctuary with Benjamin, but that fell through. Everything kept falling through. And I could have just been, darn, this just isn't working. I'm frustrated or spirit's against me. But because of this new frame of thinking, I'm like, no, this is working just the way it needs to for divine timing. So with that said, I got a call earlier this week and a voicemail, and then talked to the power of attorney, and she said, due to unforeseen circumstances, I'd actually like to keep you on for a few more months, so that there's no specific timestamp, but I've been loving stewarding the Aina that I've been taking care of. I've been able to bring this beautiful leis on Sunday, the green tea and the kuakinikini come from there. So as long as I can keep taking care of this Aina, I'm just very, very grateful. Still putting out prayers for the right place, maybe in the next 3 or 4 months. Thank you.
Any other miracles to share? Okay, well, in that case, we'll pass the mic. JinAn has a question, which is, what is it that you do to find your bliss, or how is it you find your bliss? How do you want to say it?
Well, we got a mic? Yeah.
Hello?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yes, my question would be that, what is the one thing you do or have in your life that you can call your bliss? And for me, it's surfing. Surfing is my bliss. If I go out in the water, I'm in bliss, and I look forward to going to the water. So it's the place where I can find some sense of meaning, and my life seems to be in a perfect harmony with everything else. So that's my question. Is there something that you do or have or go to or set your mind into that brings you that space?
Okay. My name's Kai. For me, it's dancing. I like body surfing too.
Boy, I could answer that with 15 places or more, excuse me, but I'll just choose to snorkel. When I get in the water and I feel the ocean moving and I look at all the critters and I really power swim. I just love it. I am in bliss then.
I'm Terry, my cats. I'm Margie, my lanai.
Swimming.
I'm Alicia Berlani, being out in nature, hugging trees, talking with them. It's just my bliss. Thank you.
In Hawaii, it's being with the dolphins. In Switzerland, it's being with my cats.
Jamie, working with the Aina and swimming.
I'm Candy. So many things, but I always say that when I am open to being in the flow and letting go.
Hi, I'm Jessica. I would say it's to go completely inward or to go completely outside.
And Alex, maybe mountain.
I'm Palmer. I would say playing in the garden, and I just love growing things and watching the miracle of plants producing.
I'm Lexi, and I love dance, and I love being in nature.
The question is, how do you find your bliss? Like, what do you like to do to be back in your bliss?
For me, it's about listening. So I have to kind of go inside and listen to the ocean that's inside of me.
Well, probably like a lot of people here, I dreamed of living in Hawaii since I was a kid. For a long time, I thought it was an unattainable goal. I thought, well, I had a limiting belief. I was like, you got to be rich to live in Hawaii. I couldn't live there. And then when the internet came around, I started checking, and I was just like, it's not that much more expensive than other places. So now it's just, what was it? You want to find my bliss? I just go, I live in Hawaii.
Oh, yes.
And I think listening to music.
Thank you. Somebody said the dolphins, and I remembered I have another miracle. I was doing a massage yesterday, and the dolphins showed up for the entire husband and wife massage. And when the massage was done, they left. So it's kind of like a reminder that they're very tuned in animals, and it is one of the great things about living in Hawaii that we're so fortunate to have that. So I think that's time to present Arnie JinAn Wong, an artist, animator, art teacher, Tai Chi instructor here on Monday evenings. He was born in San Francisco, Chinatown, moved to Los Angeles and became an animator, director, and 2D traditional animator. He ran his own animation studio, winning an Emmy and a Clio Award for his work spanning over 35 years in Hollywood. Yeah, he's somebody. He and his wife, Dania Nakamas Wong, live in an off-the-grid tree house on 5 acres of ancient rainforest in South Kona. In October of 2015, their apartment building in San Francisco nearly burned down. They escaped with their lives, but lost most of their possessions, including JinAn's art studio. He has a really beautiful art piece here that he made from some of those relics. A part of the presentation today will be devoted to sharing how they dealt with this traumatic event and how the practice of Tai Chi helped JinAn to turn his focus inward, developing a more meaningful way of being for this next chapter of life. And JinAn says, here we were embraced by Pele, yeah, in Hawaii, and began our healing process.
I'm just gonna say one thing. I begged him. I reached out to him because I was doing kids entertainment, and years ago he was just merciful and kind, and I know it wasn't a project that he was ordinarily into doing, but he helped me paint this car for the kids' parties, which was a legend around here, and a DUI checkpoint magnet as well. But it just raised the spirits of so many kids all around the island.
Yeah.
For years, and even the police. The police were like, most of them loved it except for one or two, and yeah. So you just raised the spirits before you even moved here. Yeah.
Well, it was really a lot of fun. I have to admit that I only used acrylic paint, so it came off. But it lasted for a while, right?
I don't think
It's still on there?
It didn't come off. Yeah, it's still on there. Yeah.
I just basically just painted on this car like I was painting a picture painting, and it ended up driving around all over town with it.
The kids would cry. They would scream with joy when they see that. Yeah. He's amazing at it.
Yes. Arnie, you're on.
Okay. Good morning, and thank you for coming. Can everybody see this screen from over there in that corner? Because most of my presentation now, I'm going to visualize what I'm saying. It's something new I decided to put together, and I think it's going to work, hopefully. Pasha asked me to share my story, and also I didn't know he was going to read all that, so I'm going to have to take stuff out of my talk, repeating everything he just said. I'll just go into a little bit more detail of what he said. Before we get started, though, I'd like us to get up and do a little warm-ups, a little Tai Chi warm-ups. And this warm-up is something that I picked up when I was in China. And I go to the parks before dawn, and everything was dark, and everybody's in shadow. And I knew that in China, they would do their warm-ups and Tai Chi and stuff like that in the park. So I went there about 5:30 in the morning, and in the dark, all these shadows were bouncing in the dark, and I was going, what are they doing? You know, people are bouncing in front of a tree, people are bouncing around in a circle, but everybody was bouncing, and I was going, geez, there's something like, because everybody was doing different things afterwards, but they started with a bounce, and so I'd like you to try this out. It's something that I added into my class, and I find it's a very non-invasive way to warm up. It requires no strenuous exercise, but it brings the blood to the surface, and it warms the body up. So what we want to do is stand is shoulder length apart and try to find your center from left to right, front to back. Kind of drop the sacrum a little bit. You don't want to arch your back, so you want to just settle. You want to release the shoulders back, let everything fall, relax. and try to line up your spine straight up and down through the middle. And from there, we're going to begin by just starting to breathe from the diaphragm. So you want to inhale and expand the diaphragm. And you want to exhale, contract the diaphragm. So it's sort of a inhale as you expand, and exhale as you contract. And you should try to slow it down so it's kind of like maybe a 3 count. So, and when you reach the end, don't hold it. Just sort of let it go like a tide, and then bring it back in. So it's like inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now, as we're breathing deeply, we're going to begin to bounce. And all you need is the action of the thighs. The rest of your body, you want to try to find your center. So you're just sort of bouncing and letting the spine go up and down vertically between the hips. And we're just going to bounce here just for a couple minutes, just so you get a sense of it. Find your center and sort of just breathe and just allow yourself to just sink into the bounce. All right, let's just come to a stop. Continue deep breathing. And as we sit back down and find your seats again, just remember to continue to breathe whenever you feel conscious that you're breathing, is to breathe from down here versus from up here, because you want to get a little more oxygen into you as you do it. And it's a good habit because eventually, over time, you'll be more, you'll notice that you'll be breathing deeper. So now let's see. Now I begin my story on how Pele called me to Hawaii. But before that, I'll start with a little background so you got a sense of where I came from. And I just want to see. She already said, I'm going to say it anyway. I don't want to change my script at this point. But I was born in the year of the tiger. And when I was 10 years old, we moved out to the Richmond district. And this is where he said we grew up in Chinatown. I was born in Chinatown in the Chinese hospital. And in fact, until I was about 7, I thought Chinatown was America. I didn't know that Chinatown ended, on the Nob Hill, because I was this little kid in Chinatown thinking everybody's speaking Chinese, everybody's Chinese, and then I walked to the edge of Chinatown, went, what? Is this it? That was it. Chinatown was this tiny little place, which I found out later. There's many little Chinatowns everywhere. Anyway, as a teenager, I found myself wandering through the Golden Gate Park during the Summer of Love. Oops. There it is. And the world seemed to be turning on its head in every possible way, from the music, the culture, the art, and just the way that people were thinking. And I was part of a generation, since I was 17 at the time, it was completely a whole generation with the same idea that we got to change the system. And it was like a solidarity. You just meet anybody your age, and we're all in the same mindset, which was kind of far out in San Francisco at the time. As an aspiring surfer, I grew up in this is the under the bridge. This is Fort Point, and I learned to surf at the Ocean Beach. And I eventually found my way to with my surf buddies. We found ourselves in Kauai. We had this idea that if we went to Hawaii, we'd learn to surf better. And so I went to Kauai with my friends, and we found a little treehouse for me. It's funny because I wanted to tell you about the treehouse because I live in a treehouse now, but that was even a smaller treehouse. It was like the size of a bed. That was about it. While in the throes of a bad case of dysentery, I had an epiphany. I realized that there's a reason why I was born in San Francisco and not in Hawaii. And by understanding that there's something still that I have to do, I went back to San Francisco, went back to school, and I majored in art, and that was my shift point from wanting to be a surfer the rest of my life in Kauai to going back to school. There I am with all my buddies, and during college, during college, I apprenticed under Glenn Schott, my surfing artist and mentor, who introduced me to animation. We made the first surf cartoon together. It was called Eternal Sea, and I learned from him how to make cartoons, which was to animate drawings and have them cycle and have, he gave me the wave, so I actually animated the wave, and he animated the surfer, and we pulled it off. He decided to go into biology because he said animation was too tedious, but I went on to continue, and I made a cartoon called Acapulco Gold. This was sort of the changing point for me, because it wasn't about surfing, and it was about marijuana, but it was a very, you probably know the song Acapulco Gold from 1967. I think it was the Rainy Days was the name of the band. Anyway, I made the cartoon. It was for a film called Acapulco Gold, and after that, I ran around town seeing if I could get work in town, and of course there was nothing in animation. So I decided I would go to LA. Probably that's where animation exists. So I went to LA, and I moved to LA in '74 and became a professional animator. John Freeman, the veteran animator from Disney, animated the Lady and the Tramp in the spaghetti scene, and he gave me my first job on his TV commercial, Tony the Tiger. And then later I met Dwayne Crowder, who animated the Blue Meanie and Yellow Submarine, and he taught me how to become an animation director and hired me in his company called Duck Soup. And then I worked at Duck Soup, and Corny Cole, the animator of Daffy Duck in the classic Looney Tunes, taught me the Looney Tunes style of animation, because the Disney style was a little different than the Looney Tunes style. They're a little more outrageous and more exaggerated, things hit the wall and stuff like that. Whereas Disney was more cute and bouncy, but nobody ever got killed, or get smashed by all the characters. And so it was like two different kinds of animation. Anyway, it turned out that he was the twin brother of the world's greatest surfer at that time, Peter Cole, a longtime hero of mine, and I couldn't believe it. I'm studying under Corny, who is an exact replica of Peter Cole, who surfs Hawaii, which later I met. Let's see, the next one. Oh, yes. And then I spent the following 35 years making animated films. I started my own company. I did lots of animation. I designed Dora the Explorer for Nickelodeon. Let's see. I worked on Tarna and the heavy metal first film. They hired me because they had a scene where Tarna had to use a weapon, a sword. She was fighting with a sword, and there wasn't any animators in LA to do anything about martial arts or swords. So I was the only guy when I could. They asked me, "Do you know about swords?" I said, "Yeah, I just studied Kung Fu and stuff like that." So they hired me, and I ended up doing all the fight scenes, which was really a lot of fun. And then I worked for Duck Soup, and we started getting into more and more cute animation, squash and stretch stuff. I really love that stuff, and I love drawing. But as around the '80s, that's when Tron came around. I worked on Tron, and I realized that things were shifting, and there was not necessary to draw anymore. Everything was doing by computers. This is really early now. We were talking 1980. Computers really didn't come in. Digital was coming in, but it wasn't coming into animation until the '90s with Toy Story, when that really took off. And until then, the whole industry was shifting from, well, are we going to do computer animation, or are we going to keep to the traditional animation? And it all went to computer animation. But I preferred the drawing. That was my first drawing job, which was Tony the Tiger. And I loved to draw, so I felt disconnected to the whole digital process. So I moved to Hawaii, Let's see. As the digital revolution pushed me into antiquity, I lost my mojo for making cartoons, and I decided to step back and re-envision my future. What am I going to do next? I moved into my treehouse on my 5-acre forest in Big Island, and decided that maybe I can figure it out by just being here. Of course, the surf is out there, so I wanted to surf. And but that didn't last long, because as my mother called me from San Francisco, and she had become bedridden at 87, and she needed me to come home and take care of her. So I went home and I stayed with her. I was her caretaker for 24/7 every day for about a year, and then she passed away in my arms on her birthday. And that's when Dania also arrived for that celebration of my mother's birthday, but she also ended up coming to her funeral. And that's when I proposed to her, and we've been together ever since. Okay, now we drive together in San Francisco. I started teaching animation at the Academy of Art University in San Francisco, and Daniel worked at a prestigious art gallery downtown. We rented a beautiful apartment in the Richmond district. I directed my first planetarium film called Tales of the Maya Skies, a full dome presentation showing the achievements of the ancient Maya civilization. It's actually showing over at Imiloa Planetarium on the Hilo side. You just have to call because they circulate the shows over and over. Unlike movie theaters where they just run it and then it's gone. The planetariums recycle their planetarium shows over and over every year because it's not that many. And this film really took off, and we went to Mexico and presented it to the director of education. I think it was there. He was surprised that I was Chinese instead of Mexican or Spanish because we're making this whole thing for Mexico. Okay, so one sunny afternoon in October in 2015, Danny and I were having lunch in our apartment when we noticed smoke coming up from the backyard. Our 3-story apartment building that we managed for my family was on fire from below, and the flames were rapidly coming up the back stairs towards our apartment on the top floor. We ran out the front door, and by the time we reached the sidewalk, the top of the building was on fire, which was on our floor, and we were on the top right apartment. And we lost everything that day. That was Daniel when she got to the sidewalk and she saw everything, she kind of collapsed. My art studio that I had in the garage, which was where I used to have shows and did my work there, was completely gone. And it was everything was black. My art studio was flooded by about a foot of water from the firemen, and all my surfboards and wetsuits were melted, and my artwork had vaporized literally, and all that was left was shadows on the wall where the frames were. And the funny thing was my oil paints had exploded from the intense heat, and the colors were splattered over the black charcoal walls. It was really surreal. Unfortunately, I didn't take a picture, but you can kind of see what it looks like in the garage. And so my neighbor lived across the street. She saw what happened, and she invited me to have an opening at their new gallery on Haight Street, and it's called the Four Ravens Art Gallery. I only had 2 months to create all the artwork from scratch, and one of them is in the back there. You can see that's a drawer from the living room. It's all burnt, and I put some earrings I found on the ground and put it all together. And so I started making artwork with that, and I decided to call the show Art from the Ashes. And I rubbed that. I just used my finger there, and I just made that up on the blackened ash that was on the doorway in the garage, and that's got me started. Once I did that, I said, okay, I can use the art. I can make art out of these ashes, and I'll do a show just based on that. And I would tell the story. And so I took a quote from my dear friend Terence McKenna, that nothing lasts. Oh, this is for raisins there, and this is one of the pieces of art that I made out of a drawer. And anyway, I was saying that Terence McKenna, nothing lasts, but nothing is lost. I tore out the pages from his book True Hallucinations, and I made the lettering and I put it up on the wall to use as a slogan for the show. This inspired me to find other quotes and writings from my favorite visionaries and poets. It would give me some direction out of the sort of dark place we were in. There we go. That's my bedroom door. I brought it in and used it as a prop for the show. And someone bought it. I didn't think it was going to go for sale, but so I want that door. So I gave it to him. Seeing a path through our tragedy, I used these words of wisdom to build my story, and it helped me to see what was needed to become whole again. As I finished my last piece of art, I realized that self-love was what would save me from this feeling of being empty and lost. On the opening night, every piece of art was sold, except for that one, I guess. And it was heartwarming to see friends and family come and support us in raising enough money to help us restart our lives from scratch. Life was giving me a sign. It was not the end, but a new beginning. There's another piece I did. Most of these artworks are from the show, so I don't have any of them, but I have the artwork, the pictures. Let's see. So, and this was the show with all the people, friends and family. So we decided, okay, the rents had skyrocketed since we moved there in our apartment, and there was nothing less than twice the amount we were paying for at the time. San Francisco had become a home for the Google and Twitter workers who got like six-figure salaries, and they were all in their early 20s. It was kind of amazing to see all these young people walking around driving Mercedes and Range Rovers, and it just raised all the rents up, like doubled and tripled, and that's what happened in that time period. And so I had just quit my job due to an impossible working condition that required me to compromise my integrity. That's one thing that I had a habit of doing, was quitting jobs that compromised my sense of what was right and wrong, because there's a lot out there that's not right, and they ask you to just turn your eye or just bite your tongue, or look, you're getting paid a lot of money, just move, go forward. And I just couldn't do it. Anyway, I was out of work at the same time, and so the Salvation Army did give us a voucher for one night stay in downtown San Francisco in a one-star hotel and a free meal at the local diner. That's downtown San Francisco. We ended up staying with friends' couches for a few months, looking for another rental unit, but nothing was affordable anymore. I wasn't sure what to do next. So we decided, let's move back to Hawaii. Maybe something will turn up as we take time to regroup. We had to trust life, that whatever happens next is part of our destiny. So Dania stayed behind for a while to handle the rebuild from the fire for my family. And she said she would only come if there was hot water and a flushing toilet, and not a compost toilet. So when I arrived at our treehouse, the treehouse had been left unattended for 10 years. I had a lot of work just to get back in there. And the weeds and the foliage completely took over the treehouse. Even the road to the property was impenetrable. I had to get a bulldozer to clear it so I could get back in. I hired a carpenter and gave him my sketches for what our new treehouse should look like. You can see the treehouse in there, and I just sort of expanded out from the left and right. It's not exactly what happened, but we started out with that idea. Within there's the treehouse, and we started building out, and there we starting to expand out now. And then we got a bathroom going on. You can see over there, we had to build a hole and dig that out so we can have a flushing toilet. Let's see. Let's see. Where are we? Oh yeah, okay. Flash heaters. Okay. Within 3 months, this was built. This was our new place we were going to stay. At last, we settled into our humble off-grid home. We finally relaxed, safe in our forest, surrendering to the mystery, and not doing anything, just being. Haley had called us back to Hawaii, and here we were. We would laugh about how we used to only stay in one night or two at camping in nature, and then head back to our cozy city apartment with all the comfortable utilities and access to everything at our fingertips. This was not the case. We were living outside. We didn't even have windows, and it was talk about being with nature. I mean, the koki frogs were practically at the windowsill. Koki. It took me a few months to actually drone them out, and I could actually sleep with the koki frogs. Now I can sleep with them, and when people call me on the phone, they go, "What's that racket in the background?" And I go, "What racket?" And then all of a sudden I could hear them all, come in. I'm sure you all experienced that yourself. We're now living with a growing symphony of koki frogs, which kept us up at night for months until it became part of our background noise, and we could sleep. Something about living in a forest with nature slowly gets under your skin. Something inside relaxes, and the power of nature unfolds. We realized that the fire was not a coincidence. Haley had invited us to start a new life here. And this new chapter required us to look inward instead of outward for direction. At first, I asked myself, what did I do wrong to deserve this? And why me? What did we make a mistake moving to a forest and not find a way to generate money to live? These were questions that filled my mind and kept me, sort of drained me for the first couple of months while I was here. I continued to practice my Tai Chi and Qigong, which kept me centered and kept those negative thought patterns at bay. I made time to reflect on my life and my past. And I had spent my life serving roles that I thought were so important. Building a career that would give me a comfortable lifestyle and respect, raising a family, owning a car, having furniture. I was so inspired to do whatever it took to achieve these goals. But now it's different. I no longer needed to have those roles to make me feel good. I didn't need to prove myself anymore. I didn't have the energy or desire to work 60-hour weeks and for somebody else. My stoke, or my passion, got lost. I needed to find my stoke again, and like I had in my 20s. The world was so an infinite realm of possibilities. I had plenty of time to get anything done. Now I see that life is not endless and the end is approaching. I see more friends and family passing on each year. I can see and feel the effects of aging. My drawing hand has arthritis now. My hair is receding and it's turning white. I don't keep up with trends in fashion anymore. Pains appear everywhere, without notice. My need for self-care and exercise is no longer an option. It's something I had to really look at. My friend, Brigitte, gave me a book one day, and it's called The Inner Work of Age by Connie Zweig, which I have over there, I think. Reading it awakened something inside me. There is a way to bring that stoke back into my life at this time in my life. I had to ask myself, what does this next chapter in my life entail that would bring me inspiration, passion, and a feeling of meaning and self-worth? As I turned my attention to my inner world, I found a huge open horizon filled with possibilities and opportunity for growth and awareness. Although my physical body was slowing down, my mind and spirit continued to grow. I look back at my life and see many experiences and wisdoms that I can share with others, giving back to life what was given to me. I can share my Tai Chi and Qigong knowledge and experience, so others can find their center and balance in their own lives. By being happy and joyful inside, others can feel that joy is something attainable, and that it can also be fun. And so I would like to share with you one Tai Chi movement that brings a sense of harmony within your body, mind, and spirit. It's called moving hands like clouds. I find that doing Tai Chi is a baby step towards finding our way to personal joy or our bliss. So what I'd like to do is that you could play some nice Tai Chi music. And let's all get up for a second. And I want to just, you guys can follow me and we'll just do this just for a few minutes. It's called moving hands like clouds. So first we have to stand again, shoulder length apart, like we've done before. And we're going to start with our hands, just making a circle, starting with the palm facing in. And when it gets up to about your face, keep the elbows down, keep the shoulders relaxed. Turn the palm out. And as you turn the palm out, bring it down. So we'll start over again. The palm is in. And as it reaches your head, turn it palm out. And then you scoop it back down. Now let's do this with the other hand. Palm in, palm out. Scoop under. Palm in, palm out, scoop under. And now we're going to overlap each one. So palm in, and as the palm turns out, the other hand starts to come up. So as this palm in and this is going down, they reach about like a 3 o'clock here, where they sort of meet parallel. And as the palm comes up to the face, this hand is going down, and you can see vertical, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Palm is in. And as the palm turns out and drops down on this side, this palm comes up. And here we are again in a parallel position. And we're going to come down and turn the palm out. And we're going to slowly follow that pattern of palm in, turning the palm out. Now we're going to start to turn our waist now, slightly. So it's a 45-degree angle as you turn, rotating from the hip. And here we begin to breathe from our diaphragm. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now continue this on your own and just feel the flow of the opposites. Hands moving in opposite directions in a circular motion. Breathing in and out on the up and down. Now let's slow it down. Follow my speed. And one more. And usually in Tai Chi, we close with a salute to the ancestors and all those who do Tai Chi, and including us. And how we do that is we take our right hand, make a fist, and the left hand we keep it open. The fist is the yang, the open hand is the yin. The fist, the yang wraps around the fist. The elbows are sunk. It's about chest high. It's not too far out, not too far in. This is the salute, the yin and yang. And then the open hand rises up over the fist. The then the fist opens, becomes yin, and they both switch positions, and they drop down to the side. So we're going to do that. So we're going to salute. And then we bow. Thank you. So have a seat. Let's continue. As I was saying about finding our stoke, there's an aspect to aging that I found important to feel meaningful and growing from the inside out. And that is to become an elder. Not the definition of someone growing old or being the patriarch of the family or business. The elder I'm talking about is somebody who is giving of themselves to others without selfish motives, but someone who can share experience and love to others to grow and to be mentored on the values of life. This kind of elder excites me in so many ways. I am stoked to begin this journey inward, finding my inner purpose and path, and to share with others what I've learned. The joy that comes from giving and sharing yourself with the wisdom that you've accumulated over a lifetime. This redirection inward is the path to joy and peace. I want to end my story with honoring one of my students who recently died of cancer, Sarah Cruz. She was always enthusiastic and joyful, and when she was doing Tai Chi, but most of all when we did the spontaneous Qigong, she would dance like a child in the rain as we were just all kind of just sort of moving sort of slowly. I would like us to do this spontaneous Qigong together in honor of Sarah. And you'll find that this exercise is called spontaneous Qigong because you're not going to try to think of what to do next. You're just sort of going to just move randomly, but it's all about the spine. So you want to just move the spine whatever way you can, but in a spontaneous fashion. Sarah would end up dancing around the room, but you don't have to do that. But you're free to do that. It's a moment to just be free to express yourself. And while you're doing it is to wiggle. So you're going to kind of wiggle. We call it Sarah's wiggle now. So let's get back up. We're going to do some more, just a little upbeat on this one. And what we're going to do is close your eyes, because it's really a personal thing what you're going to do. And you're going to just begin to wiggle your spine, your hips, move your arms, your neck, and just move in no pattern at all, just sort of free form. And it could be fast, it could be slow, it could be both. But it's all about just being spontaneous in your movement, not trying to think about what I'm going to do next, by allowing yourself just to do it. We'll do it for just another minute. And it's kind of like dancing in a way. But for us, in the Tai Chi, it's about the spine. So everything is about the spine. So move your spine, turn your spine, twist your spine, wiggle the spine. Okay, so let's bring it back down. And in Qigong, we also have a closing salutation. So this one, we put our feet together. We bring our hands over the head. Bring it down, then point the fingers down, lace them together, thumbs lightly touching just over the belly button. Take 3 slow Ujjayi breaths, which is just a sipping of the breath, and then bring your hands to the side. And have a seat. So that concludes my my time here, and thank you for sitting and listening to me talk about how I got to Hawaii. Do we do any questions or anything like
Yeah,
that?
you got
I
5
don't know if
minutes.
anyone has any questions, but yeah.
I thought you were teaching as well. Are you teaching people now with animation? What kind of things are you teaching?
I was teaching at the whole Kenna. I teach 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, and I teach them flip books, how to draw a cartoon character, and building a sculpture of a cartoon character that they design themselves. I was teaching at the Ihunui, a Hawaiian immersion school, and they were doing panoramas of Hawaiian, sort of like panoramas, and build little huts and things like that. We did stuff there. And then I taught at the middle school at Konawaina. We did storytelling. We actually made comic books. So everything that I learned in animation, I bring it down to the elementary school level, which I find more interesting than teaching college students. When I was teaching in universities, I'd have kids in the front row like this. And I'd be going, I'm teaching here. What's going on? You know, a lot of attitude. But these kids, they don't have any attitude. They're just a sponge absorbing everything, and I love that. So and I'm also working. I helped Mayumi Oda with her artwork, and she taught me some silk screen stuff. So I've been learning to do that too. Staying busy, but mostly, like I was saying in my talk, it's all about trying to find where my bliss is, and see where the bliss can actually be shareable to give out with it, not just myself. And I realized that when all my paintings got burnt in my fire, I said to myself, oh my God, I kept all my paintings because I wanted to always look at my paintings. I didn't want to sell them. I'd overprice them so no one would buy them. And now they're gone, all of them. And I said, if I had sold them, they'd be sitting somewhere in someone's house still alive. You know, now they just got burnt because I was so selfish about holding on to my work. So letting go was a big one. Does that answer the question? Anybody else? Yeah.
Do you have your art somewhere like online that you can?
Yes, I have it online, and I think I got cards over there. You can look at my, or send me an email, and I'll send you the link to my website. I have all my artwork there. Not everything, but most of it. And you can see that there's a painting of Pele there. I did that one actually at Mayumi's house. She said to me, you have to do your own work. You have to make your own art. And up to then I was working for everybody else, doing everything else. And I had to turn in and decide, well, what do I want to paint? What do I want to make? Because I'm usually working for companies and studios and Dora the Explorer, but it was all already pre-made. I could put a few things in, but it wasn't my thing. This was the beginning of my inward journey through the places where I find my bliss, which is art and surfing and Tai Chi. Anyone else? Okay, well, I think there's more to this evening. We're going to do something more. Yeah.
I love music, do a little offering, but thank you so much for the share. That was really awesome to get a deeper sense of who you are and what you bring to your Tai Chi classes. It's so wonderful, the classes. We do here Monday evenings, and all different types of levels and skills. And it's like yoga. I always say we start where we start, and we just go from there. But one of the things really beautiful about Tai Chi is that it's so gentle, and you start to feel better right away. I feel so much peace. And really awesome.
You can still be doing Tai Chi at 100.
Yeah.
My father made it to 105. And not too many other physical exercises that a person could do after 90. But Tai Chi, you go to China, you'll see people doing Tai Chi in the park, and they're in their 90s. I mean, they still ride bicycles. I mean, that's because they do things outside, and because they breathe the fresh air, and they stay close to nature. They can live longer, and they're not crippled. They're not they're not ill. They're not dying from something in the hospital. They live a healthy life, and they die a healthy way, which I think is the best way to go. And so that's why I stay healthy by doing Tai Chi and surfing, and keep my spirit up with sharing with children, especially children, and with everyone that wants to learn something from me, and I have to share. So that brings me my bliss.
I remember too, you speak of the hospital. When you went into the hospital, you got up and started bouncing as soon as you could, and that like just what we were doing. Like, the nurses, my mom was a nurse, and they said, you want to get out of bed and start moving as quick as possible. And that's what you did. You were just bouncing, but that made all the difference in your recovery.
I had acute pneumonia, and I was at the corner hospital. I was in bed I was there for over a week, but for the first 3-4 days, I couldn't even move. And when they told me I had to get up, I barely could even walk. I'd make it to the bathroom. I'd have to use urinals and stuff. But all I could do was stand by the bed and hold on to it and bounce. And that really made a difference, just bouncing. And I have to tell you that simple little bounce is very profound. There was times in Shanghai when I was standing outside in the snow, it was snowing on everybody. We're all like getting covered with white snow on top of our hats and jackets, and we're all bouncing. And actually, we didn't get cold.
Right.
It's amazing.
Keep the fire going.
Yeah.
So we're gonna pass the ball, time to kind of show appreciation for everything.
Daylight, nightlight, black light, and white light, everything's made of light. There's dawn light, twilight, your light, and my light, everything is made of light. There are heavenly bodies that shine in the skies, reflecting the love that shines in your eyes. Is the loveliest of light, his eyes filled with love light, everything is made of light. Well, there's lamplight and starlight, together we are light, everything is made of light. There's earth light and sea light, all there for our delight, everything is made of light. Our dear Mother Earth is a star deep inside, she's cool just enough so that we can all ride through the starlight and sunlight. Together it's one light, everything is made of light. Everything is made of light. Everything is made of light. Everything is made of light.
So beautiful and so true. So now it's time for announcements. And JinAn, I'm going to start with you. You want to announce your class or anything you've got going on?
We do our Tai Chi class right here on Monday evenings at 4:30 to 5:30. Sometimes it runs a little bit later than 5:30, but you have to let me know ahead of time so I can kind of adjust the timing. We do warm-ups, which is a collection of warm-ups I've collected from even Jack LaLanne. I collected all kinds of warm-ups through my experience through my life, from Tai Chi, Kung Fu, Aikido, Hapkido, Judo, all these things, and I kind of blended it together, and it's non-invasive because I tested this out at the Ahualai retirement home, and my students were in their 80s, so I had to make sure that they could do it, so that then I know that if they could do it, I can teach it, and it can be something that you can carry on through the rest of your life. And then I have this Qigong, which is from Harbin, China, from Master Ma. It is all about the spine. When we were doing that wiggle thing, we actually work the spine this way, this way, this way, this way, and it allows the qi to move through the central nervous system through there. So that's that part. And then the last part is the Tai Chi. I have the short form. It's called the 8 Treasures. And usually it's 108 movements, which takes about 45 minutes to do. But the 8 takes 5 minutes to do. And my uncle in China, when he taught me that, he goes, Americans don't have much patience. I think we'll have to teach you the 8 because they're just not gonna follow the 108. To learn 108 might take a year practicing all the time. So they said, but before we teach you the 8, first we want to make sure you got the 108 down, and the 78, and the 48, and the 24. And a month later, the last 3 days of leaving China, that's when he taught me the 8. But good thing I videotaped it, because then I could follow it, and I use it now to teach. And that's pretty much the class on Monday nights. So if I have a card out there, you can grab it, and it tells you the time and date and my phone number. And if you need to reach me or contact me for any reason, you can also call me or email me. The one painting on the left is the stuff I've been doing in Hawaii since I got here, and the piece of found art from the fire is on the right, and that's the last of the piece from the art show. So you can see there's a poem in there by Gabriel Kahan, which I used for this one was about beauty, and it was the idea that when we lose ourselves and fall into that space where we don't know what to do, the first thing we have to also just lay there, as they say, laying in your ashes, and then from there you have to sense something that would bring you hope, to bring you out of your kind of your negative thought process, and to lift yourself up from that. And beauty is one thing that came to me that helps us, because beauty you can't give a scale on beauty. It's either beautiful or it's not beautiful, and we all can feel what is beautiful. So there's something that just comes innately through what is beauty, and so the beauty can then embrace you, and then from there comes your self-love at the end, because without the self-love you can't move forward. So these processes of that show helped me to understand what my process was but I had to do it though. So when I came to Hawaii, this is my process now, what I'm doing right now today.
Good. Yeah, beauty is so nourishing to the soul. I find the Tai Chi also really, really, it's like yoga. I feel better after I come to class. Sometimes it's hard to come to class. They say the hardest part of working out is putting your shoes on, right? And getting there. And it took maybe a couple times, like maybe 3 or 4 weeks for me to feel like, oh, I know what I'm doing. But now, I feel the energy. I feel chi. And literally every class, I feel like an energetic breakthrough. So if anybody's curious, I don't know, it's kind of like dancing. They say it's one of the best things you can do for your mind to help keep it sharp, is to learn new ways to move, like dancing or Tai Chi, Qigong, which I think is why it's so valuable for the older population. And as we all get older, good to stay mobile and so forth. Yeah. And how about you? You got anything coming up? Any music? Any gigs you're doing?
Tonight and tomorrow night at the Outrigger Hotel down the hill in Keauhou.
Nice.
And Thursday at the Sunset Kyle and I, it used to be Sam Choice, down also in Keauhou.
Is that every Thursday?
No, just this Thursday.
This Thursday. Okay,
every Sunday at the Outrigger.
And what time on Thursdays?
5 to 8.
5 to 8. Cool. I teach a yoga class. I teach a yoga class in Pohohi Park on Thursdays from 4:30 to 6, and then I'll come to your music that evening.
Where are you teaching?
In Pohohi Park. So I teach yoga every Saturday morning at Honol's. Every morning at Honol's, there's yoga on the beach, 8 to 9, 9:30. And then on Thursday evenings, 4:30 to 6, I teach a class. And it's all just donation. People bring avocados, whatever. But yeah, so it's nice. It's nice to just, again, kind of like when we're doing Tai Chi here, we're sort of in nature. You can feel the breeze blowing through. You got the sunset when we're doing the class. Just to be in nature and moving and breathing is so powerful, so valuable. So we meet here every Sunday morning, 10 o'clock. You all know that. We do have free childcare, but it's good to reserve that by Friday. Next Sunday, we have Annapurna Saranda, Aum and the 4 States of Consciousness, music by Lori Kali. It says a Veena player. I don't even know what a Veena is. You know what Veena is? Cool. Come for the curiosity factor. And then 9/1, we have Vivek Sharma, Experiences and Learning, Living with the Master. Cool. Music by Darby Partner. And then on 9/8, as I kind of teased up a little earlier, we have the New Thought birthday.
and new member welcome. So we won't really have a speaker that day, but we'll have a little bit of a party, a little bit of a birthday celebration. As we mentioned earlier, we have the weekly class every Monday at 4:30 to 5:30, JinAn Wong, with the Tai Chi. That's $15 a class. I know you also have, like if you pay ahead of time for the month, you can buy a packet or whatever. Monthly events, at the end of the month, we've got the potluck after service. That's the 25th on this month, if anybody's keeping track. Produce giveaway is the first Sunday, so that's next week, September 1st. We've got produce giveaway, good time, because everything is harvesting the mangoes and so forth. And then we've got the crystal bowl meditation, the second Sunday of the month. That'll be on the 8th this month. Special events coming up on the 7th, that's Saturday. We've got a workshop with Maria Mann. Love Continuum Series continues 1 to 5 in the Honu room. That's $50. But we also have combined rates, which I think we would all qualify for that. Sunday, September 8th, there's also a welcome ceremony for new members, as we mentioned, part of the birthday. Great time to join for anybody who's curious about being a member. Get a certificate, it's kind of fun. Sunday, October 13th, we also have another workshop, kind of cool. We're getting a bunch of workshops coming up. Sheila Galen is doing self-hypnosis. I can say personally, self-hypnosis changed my life. That's 1:30 to 3:30 by Love Offering. And we've got help wanted for a babysitter age 12 to older. Looks like we pay the babysitter $20 time is what it seems like. So cool. Invitation, you are invited to submit prayer requests to the New Thought Prayer Ministry. We've got like a whole new box over there. Just fill out a little form and put it in, and people pray for you. We talked about how powerful that is. You know, it's one of the things. There's a book on the power of prayer, and I was really impressed by it. Like, it doesn't matter who you're praying to or what you believe. If you pray for other people, there's something about that energy that makes a difference in their life. Mailing list also we have here by the Orchids. Yeah, nice to sign in. So with that, anybody else have any other announcements to add? Yes?
There's a few mangoes in the back, and I noticed, Jamie, you must have brought a bunch of plants, huh?
Tomatoes.
We got tomatoes and mangoes in the back. So help yourself.
There's some tomato samples of those tomato plants.
And there's tomato samples of the tomato plants, so you know, like, oh, I should grow these. They taste great. Are they the little cherry tomatoes? Yes. You know, I love those. I put them on the pizzas. I cook with them a lot. I like because they kind of explode in your mouth, but that's a personal share. Anyway, so we'll circle up. Yeah, we'll end with our song. I'm gonna shut myself off. So circle up, hold hands, make a circle.
two more announcements. Last night I saw Kapena, like a classic Hawaiian band, and we ended the show with everybody holding hands and singing that song. So Hawaii, yeah. The other is we're taking JinAn to lunch. You want to eat here? You want to eat down at the Corner Pocket? Corner Pocket. I think we did that last time. It's kind of fun. I don't know if anybody cares, but anybody want to come to lunch? Yeah, come. Corner Pocket. Yeah, we'll go Corner Pocket. It was kind of nice. Yeah, we sat at a table outside. So maybe 5, 6. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Anybody else will kind of lets us know how big the table is. Okay, cool. Well, have a great Sunday.
And there's some elders from the Amazon that are teaching some workshops on the other side if you're interested in hearing about their healing practices.
In Hilo.
On
you said the other side.
Yeah, you'll see it on Facebook probably. I saw it a little bit there, but that's rare to get something like